So here's a fun little story for you. I got this old shitty Toro snowblower. Fella I used to work with gave me. It's probably like a 1980s model. And it ran, and it was in pretty good shape back then when he gave it to me. But it was always a bitch to start. So what I would do is I would have to drag an extension cord out of my house out to the freezing tundra to I wish I'd have put gloves on. To be able to use the electric start. So my driveway in the city is not worth the effort for that snowblower. So I gave it away to a fellow that another different fellow that I work with. Because he had a garage with electricity, and he could have the electricity and, you know, be out of the weather to fuck around to start the thing. And then once it was going, it was going. So now that I have to help take care of this property out in the county, I don't have a way to move snow. And the fellow that I gave that snowblower to just happens to have taken delivery of a new hand-me-down, or a newer hand-me-down snowblower. So I thought, okay, that's great. I'd be happy to take this back, this old Toro, as I can put it to use. And it's, you know, older, and it's sat for 2 years, and it never started real well to begin with. So I thought, all right, first thing I'm going to do is rebuild this carburetor. So here I am, you know, piddling with it, which is difficult to do, and try to make it camera friendly at the same time. But here we are. So I went out on a little mission today to find a carburetor kit for it. Last night I put it in the old pine sol soak, and it worked really, really well. I'm very impressed. Never tried it before today. So, excuse me. So, I went over to the big tractor place next to where I get gas. Bortnick, if you're from around these parts. And I figured I'd ask, and I knew they wouldn't have what I wanted, but I also knew they'd be able to direct me where I needed to go. So I did, and of course they did not have what I wanted, and they of course told me I could get it on the internet, and of course I knew that, and that's not what I wanted. What I wanted was to walk in to a place and talk to a grown man and have a little back and forth, you know, a little social time, which is, you know, maybe rare these days. And I got that, and I got directions to where I will probably find carb kit that I needed, or where I might find it. So go on down to Craze over in Kingsville. I said, okay. So I did. It's about 5 miles. No problem. Cool. Should have put my gloves on. It's just pine sol, but still. So I went over to Craze, and I took a step back in time, which was the most wonderful thing ever. Because it's a feed mill, and a hardware store and a small engine shop. So I went in the back, and the guy sent me in the back to the small engine shop, talked to that kid. Great. And well, I've got the snowblower number, model and serial, and nothing from the engine. And I know better, but that's how I showed up. The kid seemed, well, he just seemed annoyed to begin with, but you know, it's a Saturday before Christmas, who can blame him? Plus, he's maybe a little more of a hillbilly than I am. So he took my numbers and got me the part. And he came out with the correct carb kit for me. And it was the nicest thing in the world to be able to walk into a business where I can get hardware, I can get small engine parts right on the shelf. This is a Tecumseh carburetor, as I learned, is real common for snowblowers. And this is small, very small town USA. But I can't begin to tell you how refreshing it was. And I guess that's my whole story. I've got better tools for doing what I'm doing, but my hands are gooey and I don't want to get up and walk away. And this pine saw, I said that already, it works really well. And if I were smart, I would take this off. I'm not sure that I really want to, but also here's a fun thing, the snap-on screwdriver, I think they call that hollow ground. It's just the right thing for this. I found it on the road. I was riding my bicycle in the city next to the Firestone. And I think my hands are too greasy for this. Yes, they are. Well, that's my story. Thanks for coming by. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time.